Hello everyone, this is Sheeba Sultan Hasnain, CIO of Sentiente. On behalf of Women Lead Congress, I extend warm greetings to all the guests of the webinar and sincerely thankful for your support and presence. The vision of Women Lead Congress is to reimagine, redesign, and refine the future with AI, shaping resilient societies and sustainable global progress. Government and nations across the world are already in the race to redesign their ecosystems through technological disruption of artificial intelligence. This raises a critical question: how can human and agentic AI work together without compromising trust, safety, and innovation? This question lies at the heart of today's high level discussion at Women Lead Congress, where global leaders have come together to explore how agentic AI is reshaping productivity and why guardrails, sovereignty, and human oversight must evolve just as rapidly as technology itself. The topic of today's discussion is ethical AI from choice to mandatory responsibility. Our distinguished guests join us from different parts of the world, holding influential positions across diverse industries. They are the forefront of AI revolution, shaping the future of technology with vision, responsibility, and leadership. I would like to warmly welcome our distinguished panelists. These are Mr. Shammi Kapoor, Ms. Subela Bhatia, Ms. Fadwa Saad Al-Bawardi, and Dr. Fayid Kadambodan. Mr. Shammi Kapoor brings 20 years of extensive professional experience to his role as Senior Vice President and Head of Business Operations and Health Claims at Magma General Insurance Limited. He is leading key digital transformation initiatives that have significantly improved operational efficiency. Among his notable achievement, one of the achievement is Negative Sentiment AI tool, designed to proactively identify and address customer concerns, thereby enhancing overall customer satisfaction. Ms. Subela Bhatia. She is founder and managing director of Imperium Middle East, where her passion for cybersecurity has driven the company's growth as a rising force in skills development for professionals and emerging force across UAE and Oman. Ms. Fadwa Saad Al-Bawardi, founder and CEO of FSAB Consulting. She is specialized in digital transformation in Saudi Arabia. She is also certified strategy and business planning professional with over 22 years of professional experience. In addition, she is certified trainer, a reviewer of international AI and technical research paper, and a public speaker at several national and international forums, including UNITU IGF and UNITU AI conferences. Dr. Fayed Kadambodan. He is trailblazing digital transformation leader and serves as Assistant Director Enterprise Solution at the Dubai Integrated Economic Zone Authority. He holds a prestigious PhD in artificial intelligence and brings deep expertise in driving enterprise-wide digital modernization across complex multi-entity environment. Thanks once again everyone for joining us, and let's start the discussion on ethical AI from choice to mandatory responsibility. The first and foremost question which I would ask with all the four panelists is, why is ethical AI critical for organizations? And I would request Mr. Shammi Kapoor to start up the conversation. Thank you.
I think it's wonderful to be with such senior people who are having tremendous knowledge in this domain. Coming back to the point what you asked, I would really want to share just three opinions of mine when you talk about ethical AI. It's very important that when we think about any technological platform, and specifically the kind of speed and the kind of sharp edge artificial intelligence carry for all of us, we have to keep in mind three things. One, when we use these tools, they have to be relatable to what actually is being done. Because when it becomes understandable from a consumer point of view, a customer point of view, the adaptability and the acceptability becomes higher. Now, if you have to really be that clear, that leads to you to the second point. Then when you look at the implementation of these, the major thrust to give a push and accuracy is sanity of the data and sanity of the information on which you have tried to create your models. So you need to ensure that the kind of efficiency and accuracy you build in your data will definitely lead to you right outcomes and right outputs, what you expect from these technological tools. Third, and the most important, and my very favorite, while digital AI becomes so much close to heart of each one of us, knowing the kind of efficiency it brings in. I personally believe a strong governance, a very strong governance framework, a risk framework, and a control framework is important to ensure that when we implement these changes and when we look at the kind of benefit we want to give to the end customer and user is actually controlled in a better way, ensuring privacy when it comes to customer information, the kind of reactions we want to expect out of the end output or the service levels which we are looking forward for. So this leads or sets a platform for us which gives back confidence that the ultimate usage will definitely give us the benefit.
Yes, Miss Subela, you can say.
You're on mute,
The question is, why is ethical AI critical for organizations?
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. Now that's technology. When you begin. So thanks, Shammi Kapoor. It was good to hear your point of view. And yes, very critical. So ethical AI, I think no longer today, Sheeba, for any one of us is a choice. You know why? Because just to take everybody a little back, we had industrial revolution, then we had the electricity, then we had the next round of innovation with machines, and then there is AI. But AI is different from the other innovations in the sense that it is capable of making decisions and implementing because it learns from humans. So, like I always love to say, it learns from our past, but actually has the ability to control the future. Now, that is something which is scary, definitely needs to be ethical, definitely needs to be controlled. Today, some major decisions like hiring in a company, even your credit scoring, or healthcare. The other day, I was speaking to somebody. Oh, yes, I saw that on Shark Tank. And they're actually building an agentic AI to diagnose quicker results for the human from the X-rays, the MRIs, and things. Now, these are very critical things. I mean, this is directly affecting a human being, an organization. Of course, organizations, healthcare, hospitals, but these decisions, you cannot pin it down that if anything goes wrong or if anything is not decided as per the logic, because AI learns, and especially agentic AI, You cannot say sorry. I mean, you can't brush it off that, it's not our mistake. The machine did it. No way. I mean, you can't pass this responsibility to the machine. There has to be a human element. It has to be ultimate. The buck stops at us. We need to take the responsibility. What I'm trying to say here is, don't try to understand the math behind it or the logic, the algorithm that we all get so involved in it, but as to how is it taking the decisions, and the ultimate authority to override a decision should be the human. That's the only way that we can move forward with an ethical AI, have a transparency. And also, if you just see, which will be the next point, I don't want to include too many points, that world over, the compliances, the first was the EU, then we have US, we have UAE, we have India. The framework has to be basically the same, the ground rules, that the AI has to be finally either overridden in case of going rogue by the human. Yes, locally, the regional differences will always be there. Middle East has its own culture. India has its own priorities. US has its own set of laws. Definitely, that will be different. But the basic framework needs to be same. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Subela. Ms. Fadwa, if you can just say your opinion in this area.
Good day, everyone, and thank you very much, Sheeba, for inviting me today to this wonderful panel. I would like to mention why is ethical AI considered a crucial global necessity in organizations. AI systems, they are increasingly integrated into every aspect of modern life, from healthcare and finance to education and public policy. Therefore, as AI systems become more autonomous and more influential, their decisions can significantly impact individuals and societies. Therefore, without a strong ethical framework, I believe that these systems have a risk of perpetuating biases, infringing on privacy, making unfair or harmful decisions. And the global nature of AI development, it means that failures or unethical practices in one region can have ripple effects worldwide, affecting international relations, economic stability, social cohesion. Furthermore, the rapid advancement of AI, it outpaces existing regulations and societal norms. It creates a vacuum where unethical practices can flourish, unfortunately. Therefore, ensuring AI is developed responsibly, it will promote trust among users, among stakeholders, in order to foster wider acceptance and adoption. AI, ethical AI, it also aligns within the fundamental human rights, which I believe is very important in our world today. It emphasizes fairness, transparency, accountability, inclusiveness. It will encourage the innovation that will benefit all of humanity, not just a privileged few. And therefore, it will prevent exploitation or misuse of powerful technologies. I believe that global cooperation and shared standards are vital because the impact of AI, it transcends borders, and ethical AI, it promotes this kind of international collaboration on research, regulation, policies, and best practices. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fadwa. Mr. Fayed, would you be able to?
Voice went in between, Sheeba.
That's fine. First of all, Shiba, good evening all, and it's great to be here as a great, leadership and the tech world all together, and appreciated Shiba for the inviting me on this panel. And see, we was on early stage while we starting our India, the tech world, the traditional way we value for the human, am I right? The decision makers or the any of the decision maker, there is an in between, there is an humans are into it. These days, the decisions are into technology, am I right? It's like AI, agentic AI, and lot of technology involvement on the any of the decision making. And if you ask me, is it like an ethical? Why it is a matter on the in this, especially in the AI altogether in the era, the speed, that speed and the scale of the way it is, it is kinds of activating, or it is kinds of flowing in inside of the either organization, either in the society, either multiple area of the each and every humans are now become kinds of fall into that automatically, either directly or indirectly, is falling such a bucket of kinds of AI world altogether. So the speed, okay, initial days when we made a mistake, am I right? As a human made a mistake, we can put a post, am I right? And the spreading that information, either the right or wrong or fake or whatever it is, limited to a group of people or group of like one or two or individual. These days, the open data sources, and if you make it any kinds of the mistake, and it will reach the thousands of people, am I right? And the connectivity as cross border, as a few of the people mentioned that one, it's already started touching the human emotions, and deep faking, and a lot of kinds of and unethically people have started using all the either in the industry of the hospitality, banking, financial transaction, and the frauds are happening. So the speed and spreading, and that is something like what I can say. That is one of the matter. Again, the trust these days, especially I am working in a government institution altogether in UAE. I am the custodian of the one of the major, holding customer databases, in the entire UAE. So all the free zone, these days, most of the B2B customers are coming and asking that one, are you confident enough to stay and they say to us as a guarantee that when whatever the information they are giving to us to provide the services, are you assured that when tomorrow are you not going to leak our personal information into the public? So these kinds of threats, unfortunately, we are not able to provide to the customers or the clients. Okay, so the trust is going to out in the market until unless we don't have a structured framework for the ethical, kinds of on top of the AI, what to be private, what not to be private, what can be, disclosed, what cannot be disclosed. These kinds of, structured framework need to be, designed. That is something is like, and again, the third one, I'll say that the responsibility. Am I right? Now, no one is not clear about the responsibility in case, okay, in the agentic AI or AI decision went wrong. Who will be the responsible? Who is the custodian business or the digital, the leadership or who? No one is not responsible. This all the three matters I can say that one it's like why it is an ethical AI is crucial for in this world again. And if you see that one, it's ethical AI, if you don't have it at least in this day, we may go end up with everything is available for everyone. That is something like an open source kinds of everyone can do whatever in the data becomes available in the public, and they can play with your personal data. You are the cross boundary, as one of colleagues say that one. And again, it's like we as like each nation, each territory have their own policy, their own culture, their own norms. People started touching on there, and they started exposing that one into the private, and public becomes like panic on that one. Is a system will be in like an open source. So we need to have well structured nationals and ethical to be governed on top of the AI bias. This is what I can add it from my side. Yeah.
Very well said, Fayed, and all of the panelists. Because recently, when World Government Summit happened in UAE, that trust was the core issue which was discussed everywhere in all the panels. Trust is the core for whole AI implementation. That's why we are here today. And that moves us to the next round. Mr. Shammi, my question to you is, from your experience in business operations and customer experience, what are the most critical ethical challenges your organization especially face when implementing AI?
I'll just put it across in a very simple words about if you're using AI in any service aspects, and these are my own personal views completely, which I'm sharing with the group. And see, when you look forward from an AI perspective and you want it to take decisions, it wants and help you to control something. It wants you to set across an outcome at a predefined frequency. Now, basically, it's taking decisions, right? When someone is taking a decisions, the ethics becomes a very core part of it. It has to be in your entire design ecosystem, and that's where the controllability and governance plays important role. And if that has to be done, my views again is you definitely have to keep in mind that you have a very clear objective which is aligned to the outcome and to the governance. When you have that clear objective, you know what are you looking forward for, what you intend to do. That you have to keep your guardrails absolutely tightly controlled to ensure that you are taking care of all those fail safe measures which can impact the entire journey or the process or even the sentiment of a customer because he is going to interact with you. So that's very important. And lastly, at the end of the day, it's a technology, it's a system. You need a human to be readily available to handle it at the time when there is something is going wrong. So you need to be very cautious that a human touch is important when you are doing such amount of interfaces with your consumers, so that at the right moment, at the right time, with the right emotions being identified, you are able to capture to it.
uh, According to your conversation, we could see that human is the core, so everything must be revolves around human, and we must create a boundary between technology and human interventions. So according to the boundary, if we work and implement the new infrastructures of ethical AI, agentic AI, and we can then leverage the benefit of AGI and other future inventions, but the human is the core. So, Miss Subela, my question to you here is, how can organizations ensure that AI driven decisions are fair, transparent, and customer centric without compromising efficiency and scalability?
So my one point here would be, as my predecessor Shammi Kapoor pointed out, that the human is at core. What I say clearly, Sheeba, is that the one way human ability to override AI decisions, the ultimate has to be there. If you see anything going wrong, and or if you see that by the end of it, it's not been a logical or a fair selection, because we all know currently, again, I'm going back to the example of we all know a lot of hype, a lot of that humans are being replaced by AI, and all HR work, all recruitments, everything is done by AI. That is true to a lot of extent, but that is to help the human decision making to be faster and to be totally, I mean, cannot be totally, again, quote unquote, totally unbiased. It is not going to be unbiased because, as I say, in an organization, who has built the AI? Who has built the agentic AI? It is us, we people, we are at the core. So definitely the system is, yes, learning from biases, correcting biases, but the only way that an organization can have a transparent and fair use of agentic AI in various applications. It can be from HR to operations to sales, revenue, very important. Healthcare is prime, oil and gas, is that ultimately there has to be an ability of the human to override an unfair decision or a biased, or I would say, like I said, a rogue, finally, a calculation, or you don't have to go behind the algorithm. We all have this thing that when coding, no problem, now there's vibe. So you really don't need coders, or you don't need a technical knowledge. Yes, you don't. But what I am saying is that go beyond the math, go beyond this thing, and see that on what basis is the decision being made, and then correct it to apply it to a larger number. Because currently, Shiba, unfortunately, no longer the bias is local. You cannot say that, look, I made a decision locally sitting in UAE, so that's it. Or I made a decision in some pocket of US, it doesn't impact. No, these decisions are impacting millions. They are impacting globally, and we cannot take this. So now it's no longer about cybersecurity in AI. No, my question is, what about AI security? Who is ultimately responsible for AI security? It has to be the concerned department. Has to be the leadership. Women have a very important role, as always, in leadership, because whatever we may say that the machines are making decisions, no, it's the women who are empathetic, who we look at various angles, which may be overlooked sometimes. It's a uniform thing. I'm not dividing it into male or women. Please, no offense meant here. It's inclusive. But it is not that the machine is at liberty to take, that decision in an organization which affects lives, material, resources, and our future. It has to be a sustainable solution, which we choose. The human race has to choose what to keep, what not to keep, not the other way around, that the AI is deciding that who to keep, where to keep. That's not the question.
Very well said, Ms. Subela, that sustainable solutions would be the core of future generations, which we will select now. It will be for future generations, and absolutely, women leaders' role cannot be neglected. And of course, we need men and women together to move with the technological revolution, and then only we can get through the aim of a goodness, human goodness in future, and its sustainable future. As Mr. Koshe has just written in the comment, AI is a tool, not a replacement, designed to amplify human potential and
Yes.
create real benefit for people. Very well said, Mr. Koshe. Moving ahead with my third panelist, uh, Miss Dr. Fayid Kadambodan. My question to you is, from a regulatory standpoint, what standards or guidelines are essential to ensure AI is ethical, safe, and accountable? The stage is yours.
That's a right question for me. As I am already going through this pain area now. So, see, first of all, let me take it the other way around. Okay, as we all know that one, the AI, the latest, the trend, how it is get created. Of course, the olden days we had feeded our data into a altogether in a mechanism. Am I right? So the data has are saved in somewhere here and in such a data storage. So the source of this one is from our side. I mean, the way we as humans are stored in a multiple sources what they have received. And of course, the other way now, the multiple peoples are, trying to, getting to that same data. Of course, end of the day, what is system is doing? System is like trying to retrieve the data which we have feeded in the olden days, and it is bringing a common understanding. And what I mean to say that when if you, for example, if I need a so and so analysis or so and so, information, there is no restriction to keep a boundary. It will be, it will go through your data from our side, and there is no territorial, so there is no boundary, no restriction, no policy, no procedure. It won't check for any law and all those things. It will be in kinds of open sources. So first things is like I can say that when it is like an risk-based approaches should be like, not all the system are same, but again, it's like, low risk, for example, chatbot, am I right? It's very different from the AI that, that long, whenever it's like, depends upon the sector. For me, I can just introduce the chatbot into my organization. It's not that easy, am I right? For example, as a call center or an hospitality sector, they can go and introduce the chatbot for immediately they can have a successful story. For me, I have the huge data sources for that one. Okay, someone is coming to my chatbot is asking for an customer statement or an personal information of XYZ customer. I do have a lot of privacy and policies are inbuilt, and I do agree with between me and my client. So that is something like, the risk-based approaches need to be maintained. That is one thing. First one. The second one again, I'm saying that one, the strong data rules need to be set up, like what I can say that one, the structured data, it's like what is need to be published in the, in the manner of someone is trying to retrieve my financial information, or someone is want to have any my private information, confidential information. This way we need to have that kinds of structured rules need to be defined on top of the databases what you have carry in your organization. And again, the maybe the third one I can say that one, the transparency, people should know when AI need to be used. We can see that one these days. Everyone started, jumping to the AI, any of the tool, and including your financial statement drawing and asking that one. I need an PowerPoint presentation. I have the summary. Please prepare for that one. So people are like bit non-awareness of that one, where exactly these data are getting flow. Tomorrow, what will happen for my organization? Someone is trying to manipulate it, or want to kinds of fraud activity. This can be happen. Am I right? So it is like, this is something like organization must to any of the organization must to expand the AI decisions is something like, okay, so and so purpose we can utilize for the AI, artificial intelligence, or the agent for the purpose of seeking of the confidential information. We should not have use it for the kinds of AI or any AI, platform for the analysis. This is one thing. Yeah. Again, it's like, it's like still whatever it is, we are going with an era of the agentic AI, all, and the latest one. Still, we need to have a loop in between. Human need to be there. The final decision need to be cross verified between us and human. Somewhere the decision makers, or maybe we can automate multiple delegation, association, repeated tasks. This all the things we can introduce the AI or agent can be there. But end of the day, decision need to be remain for the humans. That is something, that again, the safety and security. Yeah. And the flexible rules. And again, we are not against the technology. Am I right? So whenever you make a rules, or the, should need to be a flexible. And we have seen the trend. Am I right? Agentic AI, it's something like maybe after 6 months we may going to see something else. So the whenever we make a rules, it should be flexible enough to adopt. And users or business users, if you go and say to the business users who don't use the AI for your purpose of analytic and all those, and they'll say, okay, digital team is against the AI and adopt. No, we should need to be flexible enough to and put and kinds of proper kinds of structured framework on top of the AI and the AI platform wherever it is in the organization. These are the area. And it is simple. I can say that one. Ethical AI means safe use. Just for the safe users is fine. But again, we need to put a clear responsibility and the clean and the good data. That is a must. Without that one, no way. And again, the final one, human need to be low. That is one thing key. If you give the responsibility for the full ownership of the and technology, and we are in kinds of end up with having an everything will be open door policy. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Fayed. Actually, I would like to add that absolutely for AI-driven decision making, a structured and clean data which has the ethical boundaries aligned with it must be there. And of course, that is true that transparency and which is called explainable AI is the core because
Yeah.
we are talking to machines, so there must be a clear transparency for decision making. Moving ahead with all these great inputs, I'm Miss Fadwa Al Bawardi. My next question is with you. Being at so much responsible position, how can you see that organization can embed ethical AI principles at the design and development stage of digital transformation projects? Yes, Fadwa.
Thank you for this important question. I believe that AI technologies, they do present several pressing ethical dilemmas. Bias and discrimination are among the most prevalent, as models are sometimes trained on biased data. And I believe that the very first step that organizations need to do is to make sure that the data is of high quality and that there is no bias. We always say you need to have a data strategy first before you can have an AI strategy. I believe also privacy is another critical concern with AI systems, and they require vast amounts of personal data, unfortunately, and this would raise some questions about the consent and the data security. So having these kind of policies and regulations in reality, on the ground, is very important that users will know what these systems will do with their data, and they need to have the consent first. In addition, the opacity of AI decision making, sometimes we call it the black box problem with AI. Unfortunately, it sometimes limits the interpretability and challenging the accountability and the trust. So organizations, they can create AI systems. However, when they are abused or misused by users, who will take accountability for that? So the policies and the regulations need to be very clear when it comes to this kind of accountability. And like I will give another example, self-driving cars or military drones or other AI systems, they will pose dilemmas about accountability in case of harm, in case of failure, accidents, and so on. So the potential of AI to manipulate behaviors through targeted advertising or deep fakes, this is another area that organizations need to be very aware of when they are creating AI solutions that has to do with the images or voices or facial recognition and so on, because there will be concerns regarding the misinformation and misuse. Therefore, I believe that it's very important to have control and governance. AI governance is very important to achieve the societal impact, the desired societal impacts that we are looking for. If we will extend it also to the labor market, we have ethical dilemmas that extend to employment, how organizations are actually using AI when it comes to employment rates. Are they hiring humans as well as AI systems in order to work together, or is it like replacing the human jobs? And this is actually another concern that is being even mentioned by the international ILO, by International Labour Organization reports in 2025. There are serious concerns when it comes to organizations employing AI systems instead of human beings. And automation, I believe that sometimes is good and sometimes it threatens jobs, which raises questions about the economic displacement and social responsibilities of organization. Therefore, as a last sentence, I would like to say that balancing innovation with ethical considerations for organizations, it remains a core challenge due to the rapid pace of AI development. Thank you.
Thank you, Fadwa. Actually, this is a great input from your side. Balancing innovation with the right amount of technological adoption is the core for whole ethical AI, and that's what we are moving towards together. The leaders, we collected leaders here, and that's where the real impact will be shown in some time, which can be done only together. So let's move ahead for the next round, where we will involve our esteemed guests also for the questions, and we all will define together some of the standards, and hopefully that will be creating the future of ethical AI. So my question, especially to all of you, anyone can start. Uh, uh, what are the most common ethical dilemmas in AI today? This question is for all of you, and you can take lead.
Shiva, I would like to start because this point has been bothering me, and you said, what are the ethical dilemmas? So, why is it we have started the automation authority? Why is it that we are trusting as a human race the automation? I mean, one, it's mixed up with AI. Automation is not necessarily AI. AI learns, it improves, it becomes better, it makes even biased decisions. So, why is it? And this is where we need to focus, that we cannot give up our judgment, the human judgment, and to balance, to see various things, in relationship. And not in a silo, because automation normally comes in silos. So that is the biggest ethical dilemma, that don't let that take over the human power, because I mean, guys, we are the ones who made this. So why is it that we are considering our judgment any lesser than an automation process?
Yes, Dr. Sangeeta wants to add her points. Yes, Dr. Sangeeta, please go
I
ahead.
do actually, Shiva, because I want to follow on from what Subela said, that I think the onus truly, in order to keep our own sovereignty and our own, whether it's individual or organizational power, we need to do our own due diligence. We need to up our own game and understand how to use AI in our own specific situations and context, because it is a vast field and it's an ever evolving, ever developing field. And I think that is, it's actually going to facilitate humans, us, to become more discerning, to become more clear about what it is that we want or need to achieve for our work, our lives, etc. So I think that's a very important point, that we always forget that, a machine is a machine, and you're right, it's been created and designed by us, but it's also a collectivity. And that's important, because we as individuals don't actually have access to this type of collectivity
Very true.
in this way.
Thank you, Dr. Sangeeta. Great input in regards to this particular dilemma, which is all around. And even if anyone else is want to contribute, and even our panelists, we are open, and please Let us know.
My side few one or two points. I just don't want to take it up. See, there are again. It's like again the privacy. Am I right? It's like the olden days we do have an privacy. What not to be in a public. Okay, these days is like it's a cracking altogether. We don't know. And most of the areas is like, just a simple example is like our financial informations are there in n number of the platform, am I right? And we don't know exactly when can be leaked and what is going to be in these informations, am I right? And somewhere we are forcing, like, not, I'm just giving an example of the debit card, financial card. Same, our private information, such as like, all the confidential information about you and your entire your history now is available in the public, and people can manipulate it that one. Am I right? And the kinds of AI and social media ecosystem and is all these ecosystems are interconnected. Am I right? For example, I just want to just think about myself. I want to fly to today to Emirates. I'm on Emirates Airlines. Okay, in a second, most of your platforms are started showing an kinds of visibility of these packages are available, this time to this destination, this best available. So it means someone have keeping eyes on top of us. That is something like that is very serious concern. And it is as a personal point of view, moreover, or organization point of view. And competitors, same like in humans, we like, there is nowhere we can go ahead and put the restriction here. And once it's in out, there is no way to control also. So the privacies are going out nowhere in the privacy, and especially the young generations, and that is something like, the lot of without educating them, now it is something like we all are going under the massive risk until we need to have such a framework. That is one thing I want to add it here. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Fayed. Actually, privacy is the core for whole ethical AI, and that's
Yeah.
the reason we are here. And to my mind, actually, uh, upskilling is something very crucial nowadays. Whenever something new comes up, we just take it and we start running towards it with a lot of confusion and dilemmas. So, very important for all organization and every individual to start upskill yourself in the area of AI, because AI is gonna be next buzzword, and it is a buzzword and it is a future.
Yeah.
Our whole life will be redesigned by AI.
Yeah.
The way we think, the way we behave, the way we interact with machines are gonna change for a lifetime. So for that, we are the human force. We have to be ready. How we will be ready? First of all, making our present generations to get this awareness as much as possible, and ourselves also upskilling is the only key to proceed towards it. Moving ahead, my next question is, how can organizations balance speed of innovations with responsibility? It is the very timely questions, and I hope all of you are well skilled and educated. You are the leaders in your field, so you can well answer this question.
So Sheeba, Janani here. So I hope I'm audible.
Jenny, yes, Jenny. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Please.
Good, thank you. Thank you for the invite. So with respect to the organizational responsibility, then the employees of the organization should be trained like we do for cyber defense, cyber security, infosec training, right? Employees should be trained on how to handle the security and privacy of the organization, what data has to be uploaded, what can be downloaded, and how the organizational content can be secured. That is in the hands of employees, basically, right? So they have to be trained enough like we do for other trainings, like we do for compliance training, we do infosec training, we do other trainings. AI governance training should also be part of every year, that we should include that in the training, and we should also ensure what is the appetite for the organizational for AI, right? Based on that, we cannot just open everything on AI, and the risk appetite we do. Similarly, AI appetite should also be evaluated, and based on that, we should perform. That's what in my view.
That's great. Appetite of AI is one of the core point, and it's really valuable area to be considered by every organization. Without getting appetite, we cannot realize how much we have to consume. So before consuming and moving towards the adoption of AI and automation, appetite is the core. And thank you so much, Jenny, for this addition of knowledge. Anyone else want to?
Sheeba, I have a very candid question. The equation between the organization to be very efficient and use of ethical AI. Now, the leadership wants quick results, quick reports, a presentation made out of, say, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. The dashboard should be given to the board of directors. But how many of them, or how would they even question that, listen, the team, of course, is required to be efficient, but has it taken into consideration the ethics score? So where I'm coming from is, of course, my cybersecurity background. We have a cyber score for anti-phishing. When you use the softwares, you check on the employees' security score, that how far are they aware of phishing emails, etc. But we've never talked or discussed what about an ethical AI score of the employee or the organization, because the leadership is so concerned. On one hand, it has to be efficient, it has to be quick, it has to be yesterday, the boardroom, because as we all know now, the CISO is, the IT is not a CISO's concern, it is the boardroom's concern. Now, where is this balance, and who is going to take a call that along with being efficient, no, there has to be an ethical score?
I'm incredibly thankful to all the four panelists for great insights moving around ethical AI and global collaboration. The final plan of actions taken out from the whole discussion is as follows: establishing ethical AI as non negotiable standards, positioning ethical AI as mandatory, not optional, across all AI driven initiatives, aligning organizational AI practices with global initiatives and regulations such as EU AI Act, risk-based models, while respecting regional and cultural context. Reinforce AI role as a decision support system, not decision maker. Building strong governance and accountability frameworks based on data privacy and consent, bias detection and mitigation, audibility and explainability. Ensuring human oversight and human-centric AI. Create escalation mechanism where humans can override or correct AI input. Thank you so much everyone for being here, and we will see you at our next webinar very soon. Thank you. Bye.